Okay, in this video we're going to look at pensions. To look at the question first, what amount of money is needed to be invested now to provide for a pension of €25,000 per year for 20 years? And the interest rate we get on that money that we save now is 4% per year. Okay, so we'll just underline 20 years, 4%, 25,000 a year. How much do we have to invest now? Now you might be thinking, well, we want €25,000 a year. We want it over 20 years, so that must mean that €25,000 multiplied by 20 is €500,000. And that would be correct if we ignored the interest we're going to make on that money when we invest it. Okay? So if you think, if I invested a huge sum of money and started taking it back out of the bank every year bit by bit, the money that would be still left in the bank would be getting interest all the time. So in order for us to actually get €25,000 a year for 20 years, we don't have to invest this much, because the interest we make on whatever we invest will also be, I suppose, added to the money. So for instance, if we just take 1 year, how much would I have to invest in year 1 in order to have 25,000 at the end of that year? I wouldn't have to invest the full 25,000 because it's going to get 4% interest. So what I would have to invest is 25,000 minus the 4%, which would be 24,000. So if I invested 24,000, by the end of the year, the interest would be added to that, and it would be 25,000. And it's the same then for every year. The longer we leave it in, the more interest it's going to make. Therefore, the less we actually have to invest in order for us to get €25,000 back. All right. Here's how we set up this type of question. So we're going to be looking for the present value of a future sum. Okay. So watch this. I want to have €25,000, and I want the present value of €25,000 after 1 year. So remember, present value is the future value, which is 25,000, all over 1 plus the interest. That's the present value. So I want to find out the present value of €25,000 next year, and it's next year, so it's just going to be left in the bank for 1 year. That will be 25,000 1 plus 4% is 0.04, which gives us 25,000 over 1.04, which is €25,000. Okay, so in order for me to have €25,000 at the end of the first year, I have to invest €24,000. Look at my second year then. The same again, 1 plus the interest, which is 0.04. This time that's staying in for 2 years. And we work it out again, and we're going to get some figure here. And again, we could work it out for third year. 3, and work out that 3. And we could do it all the way down until we get to the 20th year. 4, 20, and what that is, and add up all these 20 amounts of money. Okay, we could do that. However, there is an easy way. Okay, so here is the easier or the more straightforward way of doing this question. It's to do with series. Okay, it's the sum of a geometric series. So here's what we do. We find our present value of, I suppose, all the €25,000 over the 20 years. So the first suppose, term is going to be 25,000 euros over 1 plus the interest rate. And remember, the interest rate was 4%, which is 0.04. So 1 plus the interest rate is 1.04 to the power of 1, because that 25,000 is only staying in the account and getting interest for 1 year. The next 25,000, same interest rate. Okay, so it's 1 plus 0.04, which is the 1.04. However, that 25,000 is going to get 2 years interest, and so on, all the way up to 20. Now, if you just look at this in the green, I say we will presume the first 25,000 was taken out at the end of the first year. So if it was all the money was invested at the start of the first year and it was taken out at the end, well then this 25,000 would get 1 year's interest. Okay. However, let's say he invested the money today. This was like the start of the year, and then tomorrow he takes out his first 25,000. Well then, that actually wouldn't be 1, because it's 0, because he's not going to get a full year's interest for that. He's going to get no interest. That would be 1, and this would be 2, and this here, this 20, would actually be just 19. Okay, so just be careful of that. Yeah, I suppose if they don't say anything, if they don't stress, then presume we're going to be starting with the 1 and finishing with the 20. Okay, but if they do say something in the question that alerts you to the fact that he or she is not going to get a full year's interest on the first sum, then make sure that you started with a 0 and take 1 away on the last term. Okay. Anyway, here's our formula for the sum of the geometric series. Our first term is this. N is the number of years, it's 20, and the common ratio is 1 over 1.04. And where I got that is the T2 over T1. Alright, okay. We fill this into our Sn formula then. So Sn equals, and we have 25,000 over 1.04. So that's our first term. That's the b dealt with. Multiply by 1 minus common ratio, which is 1 over 1.04. And that's 20. And that's all over 1 minus 1 over 1.04. Remember, usually we take this bit and we bring it down here. Okay, so we'll do that. It's Sn equals 25,000 over 1.04 multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1.04 to the power of 20, all over 1 minus 1 over 1.04. Put it back there. Okay, that's a bit messy now. I'll just, okay, so oops, very messy actually. So that's that bit. We type that onto the calculator, we get an answer of 339,758.16. So 339,758 euros 16 cents. So in order for us to get 25,000 euros a year for 20 years, we have to invest 339,758 euros 16 cents if we're getting an interest rate of 4% per year. Okay? Whereas if we ignored the 4%, we would have to save, we would have to put away half a million. Okay? That's it. Thanks, guys.